If you don't know how to perform a proper top-down analysis in the market, then you are just trading blindly. You are just guessing. You are just being lucky, maybe getting a few wins here and there. And luck by definition runs out. Hi guys, Asta here. In this video, I'm going to show you how I use top-down analysis to get this goal setup I shared with you guys, the Bitcoin and the Ethereum, right? All the setups I've been sharing. And we've made a lot of money, right? In fact, this was the particular setup I used to pass my Maven Profile account in 4 days, right? So I'm going to show you how I did it and what I expect for gold, Bitcoin, and Ethereum in the coming days. Stick with me to the end to learn something new. And if you want to be getting these updates live, you want to be getting signals from me, share your insights, discuss, you can join us. You can join our community. The link is in the profile. We have over 1,000 members there, all sharing their insights, just participating and trying to make money, right? That's all we do. We all have a similar goal, make money. Now, let's dive into the video. As you can see, I give this gold long, right? This long here. And I targeted this highs, right? And now there's this entry that seems to have missed entry, but no, this is a new entry. And I'm going to explain why I'm expecting this on gold, right? Why I marked all these key levels. Now, first of all, let's go back to the daily time frame. All right, this is the daily time frame, right? As you can see, ignore all the noise. It was when gold was riding to the upside, we caught it and I was, getting too confident. I was typing all this shit. Anyways, as you can see, after this expansion, after the previous expansion to the all-time high, gold came down to the major key level, right? The major demand zone from when the rally, the expansion began, right? Now, not just that, when you come down to the macro, you notice that gold has been bearish, right? Really, really bearish. And it broke structure around the zone, right? This is a breakout structure. It broke structure. Now, these highs, I think I'm just going to have to clear these trends. Now, when gold broke structure here, what's your trading range? The last high and the most recent low, right? That's your trading range. You expect gold to come back to at least this zone, right? At least above the 50%. You can do out your Fibonacci like this. And what's your 50%? This, right? You expect gold to get back above the 50% if it's going to continue any push to the downside to break structure, right? Now, if you watch my video on liquidity, the previous video I posted, you understand that this is a trendline liquidity, right? This is a trendline liquidity. And what was my view on gold? I said this other block was my target, right? This other block. I was expecting gold to rally above from this zone, clear out all this inefficiency, mitigate this inefficiency, tap into this daily order block, and then move down. If it closes above this other block, it means it has given us an internal change of character, and it has signified that, okay, this zone that you're looking at, this bullish zone, it means it has held, right? This will give us the confirmation that, okay, we're going to continue rallying upwards, probably till another all-time high, right? Till 5-6. Now, that's not the only reason why I said we should, long gold. Let's go down to the 4-hour time frame. Notice how gold broke structure here, perfectly aligned with the daily time frame break of structure. And then there's this support level, right? A very strong support level that has been tested over and over again. And then market gave a change of character, internal change of character around this level. Now, what did I do? I, if you, if you're in my group, you see that the chart I posted, I marked this as an internal liquidity because at the time gold was trading around this level. I said gold was going to take this and then get to this other block, right? This other block before we now start buying. And then when we got to this other block, I was inactive. When I got back, it was already pumping. I say, okay, I'm going to wait for a retest of this zone. This trendline liquidity can serve as a resistance and also as a parallel channel that gold has been respecting. As you can see, 1, 2, 3. It had 3 touches. But no matter how strong a resistance or a support level is, the more retest it gets, the more touches it gets, the weaker it gets. That's one of the principles of trading support and resistance. If you know your basic technicals, right? Now, I expected gold to get back around this zone, tap it, and then get back to my buy level before we now enter it. You see, I didn't chase the market. I waited for it for like 2 days. I just sat back and waited for it. Then market came down to this level. And that was when I shared the setup. You saw the setup. It's on my Twitter. It's literally everywhere. The videos, I've posted them literally everywhere. Then I said long gold at this level. I was expecting price to keep rallying above. And I said people should wait for my update. If gold closes a 4 hour candle above this parallel channel, then we are going to rally up to this zone, right? We're going to mitigate this inefficiency and then tap into this supply zone, right? This major resistance level. And then what happened? Price eventually closed a 4 hour candle above this. And then I said, okay, no need to close your longs. Let's just keep riding above. Let's target this liquidity. This was the last internal range liquidity. This was the last internal range liquidity that I was targeting. Hence why my take profit was at this level. Because if I'm expecting it to short, gold is still bearish, right? By technicals, it's still bearish in the 4 hour time frame. It still hasn't taken out this size. Now, if I'm still bearish on gold, it means this long was a counter trade, right? It was a counter trade. Now, this was inefficiency. Even mitigating this slight inefficiency can be enough for gold to keep rallying downwards, to like just continue its original trend, right? Hence why our take profit was at this level. Because anything that will make gold to come up here is a mitigation of inefficiency following liquidation of the right side liquidity, right? And I said, okay, let's take our profit here. And as you can see, market kept rallying upwards. Now it has closed 4 hour candles inside this supply zone, right? It didn't break above this supply zone. Now we wait for the daily time frame confirmation. If daily candle closes not above this resistance, if this resistance holds, then I'm expecting a slight push to the downside. Remember, on the daily time frame, we are originally bullish, right? We have been bullish from when gold started its rally to the all-time high, right? We are bullish on gold on the daily time frame. Now I'm expecting gold to rally. I want this resistance to hold, right? I'm expecting this resistance to hold. And then gold will rally downwards. Probably open with a gap on Monday. And then take out this lows. And then what happens after it takes out this low? When it takes out this low, there's this resistance that it broke, right? I already gave the signal. In fact, it's there floating in my group. I gave the resistance in the community. I said we should long gold when it gets back here. It seems like a stretch. Like, come on, there was a rally, a clear break of structure. Why do you expect gold to come down here and then buy? If it should come down here, it's bearish, right? No. You look at the order flow. This was a resistance that got broken, a major resistance that got broken, and price closed above it. It retested, but it didn't actually retest the major resistance that it broke, right? Which is now a support. That's the second principle of support and resistance. If a resistance fails to hold price, it automatically turns into what? A support. And that's what happens here. This is now our support level. I expect a liquidation of this low following a retest into this support level. And then we keep expanding upwards, right? That's what I expect on gold in the coming days. We are going to trade this. But if gold should take us out and close below this support, this newly support, if it should close below this, then what is it? It's now another flip zone. Another flip zone has been created, meaning that this 4 hour trend is going to be continued. Maybe we'll wait for another change of character. But if gold should close below this, then we are simply going to look for a retest into this resistance and then keep trading lower. Right? We are going to keep trading lower. That's what I expect to see on gold. So it all comes down to the daily close. In fact, market is going to close today. So if market should close at this resistance, I expect gold to open with a gap to the downside and then we keep trading lower till we get to our newly created support, right? And then we long gold. I was expecting gold to reach an all-time high. Like I was expecting gold to rally above. Like it's going high. It's going to pump a lot. That's just my speculation. It's going to pump. But the major relief along the way, it's not just going to happen at once. It's not going to be that easy. But that's why with master technicals, right? We always see these things on time. Now, let's go to Bitcoin. This this is Bitcoin. Now I'm going to clear these drawings and then I'm going to explain everything about Bitcoin. We've traded Bitcoin, I think, thrice around this level. And I'm going to explain why I said we should, take the shots. It's going to be brief because it's in most of my previous videos. When Bitcoin was trading around this level, we got all these shots, right? And now, what I'm expecting for Bitcoin and why I said we should be short, right? Let's go to the daily time frame as usual. In fact, let's go to the weekly. Now, this is the weekly time frame on Bitcoin, right? This is the weekly time frame on Bitcoin. I kind of prefer the crypto chart because of all these imbalances, but it's fine. Now, apply your basic market structure knowledge. Gold broke structure here, right? It broke structure. It's rallied, pulled back, broke structure again, and then it changed character around this two. Not only that, this was a major support level and it broke below it, right? And what does this become? Yep, you guessed it right. A resistance and a flip zone because this is the weekly time frame. Even on a daily time frame, you can get a flip zone. But this completely changes the picture for the market, right? And I saw this around, yeah, this was around February, right? It was around February. I gave this shot. You can scroll up in my community. You see when I gave this shot, I said I was expecting Bitcoin to fill in this gap, mitigate this zone at this flip zone. I want Bitcoin to mitigate this inefficiency before it rallied down. I think our entry was 79K, right? Yes, around 79K. As you can see, 79K. I think the stop loss was 80 something. Yeah, above 80K then. And then we got this. I was targeting this low, because of this rally upwards on the lower time frame. Everybody was like, BTC is bullish. After why he's saying we should short Bitcoin at that level, it's bullish, it's going back up, blah blah, bull run. You know, you simply lack basic understanding of market structure. You don't know when to use other blocks or when to use breaker blocks or what flip zones are, or you don't even know major key levels. You don't know anything about it. Now, look at this. Market tapped into our flip zone and even broke structure, right? Great. Now, what are I expecting on Bitcoin? Exactly. A mitigation of this level, this inefficiency. I'm expecting Bitcoin to mitigate this inefficiency. When Bitcoin was at this weekly candle, this bearish candle, I expected it to come down to around 60K level. You see the reclamation zone when I get to the lower time frame. I wanted it to tap into this support level before it goes back up. But now the picture has changed because it didn't tap the support and then it's still running around here. And it's going to be very hard for Bitcoin to come down to this support before it now pushes upwards to above 70K. Right? It's going to be very hard because it took weeks for a single rally of about $10,000 price increase. So I just expect Bitcoin to just keep pumping, mitigate this inefficiency, and then come down. We are not going to the all-time high. At least that's not what I think. Unlike gold, I don't think Bitcoin is going to keep rallying upwards forever. Like the bottom is not hitting. It's just not hitting. Right now, let's go down to the daily time frame. This is the daily time frame on Bitcoin. Sorry about that. Now, this is the daily time frame on Bitcoin. Price tapped our flip zone and then it broke structure. And if you look at the market structure on daily time frame, this was a break of structure. This was a break of structure, followed by another break. And then what's my trading range? This high and this low, right? That's our trading range on the daily time frame. And even on the weekly time frame, this level, this area right here, is our inefficiency that we expect to get mitigated, right? Now, I expect Bitcoin to take out these highs as internal range liquidity. I expect Bitcoin to take out these highs as internal range liquidity, come and mitigate this inefficiency before we get any significant push downwards. Now, where I expected Bitcoin to get down to this support level at first, because it was a reclamation zone, right? What's a reclamation zone? This level was a support that was broken, right? And the support got broken by Bitcoin. You know what? We'll come to that. Let's get it over in this daily time frame. Now, you take your fibs, right? You draw your Fibonacci, and what's 50%? As usual, we mark out 50%, right? This is the golden zone, and this is 50%. And you can see how the golden zone aligns with the end of this inefficiency, with this perfect order block, right? You can see how it aligns with it. Now, that's not the only confluence. Number one, we have the inefficiency. Number two, we have the internal liquidity. Number three, we have the premium zone of the Fibonacci. And then there's this parallel channel, right? Our support level that got broken down. Our support level, this parallel channel that got broken by BTC, right? Price broke below it and kept rallying downwards. Now I expect a retest of this level, this channel. It's a psychological level. I don't trade trend lines. I do not trade trend lines. I do not trade patterns, right? This is simply a psychological level that aligns with our inefficiency, our entry, and our premium zone, right? And our Fibonacci before we push downwards. You can see how everything aligns. Now, that being said, let's go down to the 4-hour time frame. Now, this was a support level. This was a support level, a strong one, right? The price retested and held above it. Then it broke below it. When price broke below the support automatically turns into what? A resistance, right? A resistance level. But then price broke the resistance again and then pushed up. As you can see, price broke below the support. It kept rallying, consolidating, and then it broke above the resistance again, right? Making it a new support, a flip zone. Now, this is what we call a reclamation zone. Because even if you're going to draw a box, your entire Bitcoin range, this was the breakout, and then price reclaimed its level into the range, right? This is the major demand zone that smart money is interested in. I hope that makes sense. That's why I was expecting Bitcoin when Bitcoin was rallying around this level, around this level. I expected Bitcoin to get back, sweep this internal range liquidity, this triangle liquidity, sweep it completely, get down to the reclamation zone around 60K. This was the support, this reclamation zone, and then we rally upwards. But now that Bitcoin has started reversing, the picture has completely changed, right? We're no longer expecting a retest of this support before a sweep of this size into our inefficiency above, right? When price was around this level, I gave a short position around here. You can check the community is there. I posted it. We took this short. It pulled back. We took it again, right? And then I said, talk SMT. That's our strategy, right? SMC. This was a break of structure. It pulled back, right? And then it broke structure again. Now, this was the before the break. Price didn't close below this one. We didn't get any close below this. So our strategy is SMC. And if our strategy is telling us that we are not bearish yet, then there's no reason for us to get bearish, right? And if you take this parallel channel, you can see that we got a breakout, right? I sent the chart. Where's the chart? I'm going to upload it here. I sent the chart. I said this was the level we need to get acceptance below, right? If Bitcoin should break below this level, then we can start looking at this other block, which many people have been shorting from, and many people have been liquidated from this zone, right? I said we should not short from this zone. I was expecting short from this zone only if price has given us an acceptance below this low, right? Then we can get a short from this and then we'll push into the demand zone, right? Before we now go up. But we didn't get an acceptance. So I said we shouldn't short again. We got multiple rejections off of this zone, this support level. The support held, the other block held, and it bounced off. We continued dialing upwards. I said, okay, I think we're not going to revisit this reclamation zone again. We're going to simply sweep this highs and then into our inefficiency before a continuation of the trend. For whatever happens, right? Our job is not to predict the market, but to react to the market, right? So, yeah, I think I'm pretty clear on Bitcoin. I'm expecting Bitcoin to pump above this level, and then eventually we make money. That's the whole purpose of all this, right? And any position I entry on BTC, I'm going to be sharing it, at least most of it. I'm going to be sharing my long position on BTC. Any position I'm going to enter, I'll share it on my community, and it's free. Like I've always been doing, I'll share it. And I think this video is long enough. I don't think we're going to talk about Ethereum, even though Ethereum and Bitcoin has similar price action. So whatever happens here, just apply it to Ethereum. It has the same price action. right? We're expecting a touch of a declination zone on the Ethereum and then a push upwards. We are still stand out. We are pushing up, right? But I think Ethereum got its own acceptance below here. So if I'm to make a video on Ethereum, it's going to be another video, right? It's going to be a separate video. You can type in the comment section if you want it, and then I'll analyze it and upload it. But for now, this is what I'm expecting on a major coins, right? The kings of the market, Bitcoin and gold. This is what I'm expecting. And yeah, good luck to you all. I hope you make money. We're going to sweep all this liquidity, all these highs you're seeing here. I expect a sweep of this size, right? Even if Bitcoin is going to start getting a rejection from this level, we are going to sweep this size first. Because in as much as SMC is concerned, we broke below here, right? And we still haven't broken above. We still haven't changed character. So yeah, you have to keep that in mind. Like, this is a very crucial level for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks above this level, then I'm sorry for yes, we are going to be doing longs aggressively into this inefficiency. We are going to fit all this inefficiency that are coming up, right? So just keep that in mind. Like I said, if you want to get these signals from me, completely free, join over 1,000 traders in our community, share insights, share signals, make money, have fun. Right? That's all. I think that's all for today. We'll meet next Friday, right? Or maybe Monday. I don't know. If you want me to post the Ethereum video, you can simply comment or not. We'll meet next time, right? Peace out.